Hello everybody, welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for our dearly departed Premier League review show for round 30. Who are the dearly departed? It's the Championship teams who've been promoted into the Premier League teams. We're still covering them while they're up there. I'm talking Sheffield United, Villa, Leeds, West Brom and Fulham, and it was dearly departed Derby weekend this past week. It was 9 points for the dearly departed. That may be a season high, but a little bit of a sense that the status quo did remain with wins for Leeds and Villa, although a fantastic win for West Brom at Chelsea. We'll get into all of that in a minute. First of all, we will say thank you to Jay, who is our fan sponsor, dearly departed, also known as Ben. Couldn't bear to lose us. Thank you so much to Jay. Sponsors all of these dearly departed shows throughout the season. You too can get involved over on Patreon. And while I'm plugging, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already on YouTube. We went over 15,000 subscribers yesterday, which brings a nice little smirk to my face. Very, very good news. Happy about that. Here are our results in the Premier League for round 30. Dearly departed games with the blue bells by them, although we're at the stage of the season now where we can also pick out some of the results in the other games that did influence the 5 teams we're looking at. Early on Saturday, it was Chelsea 2, West Brom 5, then Leeds 2, Sheffield United 1, our first 2 games. Not too worried about Leicester 0, Man City 2. Arsenal 0, Liverpool 3. That's kind of good for Leeds and Villa with Arsenal in mid-table. Southampton 3, Burnley 2. Sucks Burnley down a little bit for Fulham and or West Brom to chase. Newcastle 2, Tottenham 2. Could have been better, but was fine for Fulham. They did not capitalise. It was Aston Villa 3, Fulham 1. Late last night, Manchester United 2, Brighton 1, which is good again if Fulham can get some wins down the bottom there. It's a snail race, though, getting points for those bottom teams in the Premier League. Later on today, Everton play Palace, Wolves play West Ham. So we, of course, can go ahead and record our show right now. As ever, we're going to do each of the games. There's only 3 to look at today, and we will start with the top-ranked game, which was Aston Villa 3, Fulham 1. There are the sides, and it was all set up for Fulham, wasn't it? 3-point gap between Fulham and Newcastle. Newcastle rescued a point, but we knew a Fulham win would take them out of the bottom 3. We're at the point now where someone like Villa sat in mid-table has far less pressure on them in this game than Fulham. We know Fulham really need the win, and they got the lead, but they could not hold on to it. Here's what happened, and there are the teams. And Villa still without Jack Grealish. We were in the chat. I did a watch-along of this one yesterday. If you want to see my reactions to anything that happened during the game, you can see that elsewhere on the channel. But the chat went up, you know, Villa's points per game with and without Grealish, but they did the job without him here. Trezeguet made the difference off the bench. There's the teams. And Martinez, Cash Mings Target, Sanson and Louise, Traore, McGinn, El Ghazi, and Watkins. It says 4-2-3-1 there. There was never really a sense there was a number 10 on the pitch. You know, Sanson was coming deep a lot, and Watkins didn't get too much support from behind him. It was more from wide, or attempted from wide. Quiet game for El Ghazi. For Fulham, Areola, Teti, Anderson, Adrabio, Aina, Reed, Lamina, Harrison Reed, that is. Bobby Reed, front right. Loftus-Cheek, 10. Lookman, front left. And Mitrovic starting and scoring. I suspect he now finishes the season in the team. He's probably in the good books with Scott Parker. He's scoring goals for Serbia. And he did look at it yesterday. I have to say, I thought Mitrovic looked a danger. Let's have a look at some of the action. First half, lively. Loads of shots in the first 10-15. Open. No goals, but the story of it, as you can see there, a VAR check on a very borderline call between Lamina and Watkins. It's a really strange one because there were two angles of it. If you looked at it from one angle, it looked like Watkins possibly touched it first. If you looked at it from the other, it looked very much like Lamina touched it first. There was even a suggestion yesterday in the stream that they both touched it at the same time. On first sight, I thought it was going to definitely be a penalty because we've seen plenty of decisions where, you know, even if the ball's gone or the ball's won and then the player slides and follows through, the penalty's given. It wasn't. Lots of people were wanting Watkins to be booked for diving, but although he did seem to be going down before the contact, there was then contact. So no penalty, no booking, no diving, no nothing. Just a tackle in the box in the end. And really, we don't need to debate it because there were 4 goals in the second half and plenty more context with this win than that. And here is the opener. There he is, Mitrovic. Simple one. He's taking it round Martinez. He's going to stick it into the empty net from the left with the left foot from, I guess, about 16 yards there. But look at 5, Tyrone Mings. Horrible back pass by him. Big mistake. He kind of turns and just mishits the back pass completely. Mitrovic does well because he's pressing and he's onto it. And then from then on, when he's got the big chance, he takes it very well. But for the big mistake from Mings, that goal does not happen. And we then have that situation. We're looking at the live league table and Fulham are out of the bottom 3 at this point. Now, Dean Smith makes a slew of substitutions and ignores Ross Barkley, frankly. I think Trezeguet comes on, Davis comes on, Ramsey comes on, and they just got a little bit narrow, a little bit deep, and here is the equalising goal. It's really good from Mings, who was on a mission after his mistake to make amends. He does after a fashion here, cutting it back. He's not in the picture, actually. He's on the left wing. He's cut that back for Trezeguet, who drills it in first time, left-footed, nice finish, well worked, and Fulham just getting suckered back towards their goal, which always opens up the space for the pullback, doesn't it? Trezeguet equalises, and then sadly for Fulham, El Collapso. They're going to ship another 2 and lose the game here. And it's a similar lament that Mings had, that Tosin Adrabio has. You can see him on the edge of the 6-yard box there. Gets robbed totally, turns back towards his goal. Keenan Davis at the top of the picture there runs. It's really good after the mistake from Adrabio. Davis runs, first time cross, dinks it up. Trezeguet's making that look easy there, but the ball is just landing and bouncing, and he strokes it in kind of on the half volley as it's about to hit the ground. What an impact by Trezeguet. Great assist by Davis, and an even better one here from Traore for the third as Fulham collapse. Villa get the win. Traore inside outside on Iain. And it's a tap-in for England's Ollie Watkins. And it was Villa 3, Fulham 1. You probably think I'm erring towards Fulham in this review. We're just at a position where Villa and Leeds are kind of safe now. And it would be lovely if we didn't have an entire bottom 3 of dearly departed teams. But the longer we go, the longer they stay there, the more likely it's going to be. Let's have a look at the numbers. Really open stuff. Look at that. We said, would there be 30 shots in the stream? 29 shots in the game. 2 big chances to 1. There's the shot map. You can see Villa just creating those 2 big chances for the second and third goals. But on the XG and all the underlying metrics, a tight game. But it was Trezeguet's impact and the substitutions and a little bit of a bang, bang, bang collapse that did for Fulham. Well done, Villa, though. We shouldn't forget that they now have 44 points from 29. So 9 games left from Villa. If they were to get 12 points, say, from their last 9 games, which is not implausible, they'd finish on 56, which would be a really fantastic season for Villa. Although you think they just want to get Grealish back on the pitch, don't they? Fulham, ouchie, 4 defeats in the last 5, 3 defeats in a row. But it's a snail race, isn't it? They're still only 3 points behind Newcastle. They can still do it. And we all know, last game of the season, Fulham play Newcastle. And it could be winner takes all in that one. Although you can imagine some dour, unhelpful draw in the last game of the season. They just need to be within 3 points before the last game of the season. But Newcastle game in hand as well. So let me know your thoughts. Big picture, good for Villa, and good to get a win without Grealish. I'm sure he'll be back sooner rather than later. And Fulham, can they still do it? It does feel like those 2 recent defeats here in dearly departed games against Leeds and Villa. Yeah, does feel like we're going to look back and say, oh, was that it? They had the lead and that was the chance to get out and possibly stay out and put the pressure on. They didn't do it. Get your comments in on that one. It was Villa 3, Fulham 1. Moving on to Leeds versus Sheffield United. And we said in the build-up to this one, the context for this game was amazing in the Championship, wasn't it? In 18-19, these were essentially, as Norwich went off into the distance, these were essentially the 2 teams battling for second place. Brilliant rivalry. Leeds winning the game at Bramall Lane. Henderson's mistake and Hernandez scoring. And then the famous Basham arriving goal, which the Leeds Twitter admin had a lovely time taking the mickey out of. They were very fruity, the Leeds Twitter. Good follow this past game. And this season, Bamford giving Leeds the win with the header at Sheffield United earlier in the season. It's been a good rivalry, but it's a little bit sad that now we have Sheffield United just completely fallen away this season. Leeds in mid-table, but we came into this game and it was like, for the first time in this rivalry in these last 3 games, it felt Leeds were quite strong favourites and quite likely to win. And that was the way it did pan out. And of course, Paul Heckingbottom is minding the shop for Sheffield United. I doubt very much will be the manager next season, but he was a former Leeds manager for not very long until Victor Orta realised he could actually get Marcelo Bielsa. There we go. There are the teams. And look at the bottom for Leeds there. SofaScore puts up a missing players list. No missing players. Can Leeds trend up? We know Bielsa likes a small squad, but we've lamented when we've been covering Leeds this season. Oh, you know, injuries in the same place, particularly centre-back. It seems that Cooper, Koch, Llorente have all been injured sort of at the same time. And we've seen Ayling and Strauch in those back fours. I wonder now if Leeds can get a run towards the end of the season with a fit squad, whether they can have a little trend upwards points per game wise and push into that top half. That would be the upside, wouldn't it? A bit of a different story with Sheffield United. We'll come to that. So Meslier in goal, Ayling, Llorente, Cooper, Alioski, Koch on the bench. They are close to full strength now. Phillips, England's Phillips. You love to see it. Roberts starting with Dallas in central midfield. You wouldn't have thought at the start of the season that Matt Click wouldn't be there. He's not. Rafinha, Harrison wide, and Bamford up top. Did Click get COVID out with Poland? I'm curious about that now. But hey, Click was first name on the team sheet for, he played like 80 games in a row or something. But as Marcus Stewart once said to me, the great Ipswich player, the team that starts the season is never the team that finishes the season. And Sheffield United, yeah, a bit more in terms of injury troubles for them. Ramsdale, Bulldog at centre-back, Jagielka and Stevens at centre-back. You can see it says that Stevens was going to be doubtful, but yeah, the fabled back 3 that did so well for Sheffield United of Basham, Egan, O'Connell, none of them available in centre-back there. Jack O'Connell not available all season. And essentially they've got an ageing Phil Jagielka and 2 wing-backs playing at centre-back there. It's just not desirable. Bogle and Osborne, Lundstrom, Norwood, Fleck, McGoldrick and McBurney. And you can see there, O'Connell, Berger, Egan, Basham would all be in the first team. So some injury problems there for Sheffield United. Here is what happened. It's going to end 2-1 to Leeds. And it's a bit of Rafinha excellence here. And perhaps we can say with George Baldock normally being a fullback, although I don't quite know what he's doing over on the left-hand side there. But anyway, it was nicely worked inside. Rafinha, lovely skill by the Brazilian. Works Baldock and puts it across the box. Easy for Jack Harrison. And Bielsa ball in action, isn't it? Wingers, really important players. And you always want to see that when the winger on one side is getting into a crossing position, especially in a one-up front configuration. You need that winger on the other side. And Jack Harrison, you probably look up now, has probably scored over the past 2 or 3 seasons nearly double figures in tap-ins of these type of goals of, you know, the overload into the box and coming from the far side and just be there to finish. 1-0 to Leeds. Very strange one here. I think that is Baldock again, where this tackle almost seems to get forgotten here because the ball goes through again. That is Harrison, isn't it? Harrison's in and they get the big goal scoring chance, which he misses. It's almost like that foul is missed. Now, Leeds fans were particularly outraged about this. I don't think we need to worry in the big picture because Roberts was okay and Leeds, the player didn't get hurt and Leeds didn't lose the game. So it didn't have too negative an effect, but it didn't look like a very good tackle. I'm not sure whether you could play an advantage on a possible red card tackle, but yeah, it's strange that one got missed, and I thought I'd make mention of it because I know it will come up in the comments if I don't. And then, even more annoyingly, if you're of a Leeds perspective, Osborne is going to equalise. Ailing trying his best to get back, but he's taken that to extremes there because he stood behind the goal line, bless him. He does seem to make the block, but obviously he's way behind the line. And Osborne sweeps it home for 1-1 into the second half. And Leeds get the winning goal. And it's an own goal by Phil Jagielka. Nice switch of play by Tyler Roberts there. Nice Hollywood pass there. Floats out to Harrison. And wingers doing damage in this one. Didn't need to rely on Bamford in this game as they have relied on him, but he's contributed a lot of goals. He didn't need to score for Leeds to get the win in this one. Good work from Harrison, crosses it in, and you can see Jagielka has to make the challenge, and into his own net it goes. We see own goals like that all the time, and it's fairly comfortable for Leeds, isn't it? I mean, look, 1 shot on target for Sheffield United, and they scored from it. Leeds, 23 shots in the game, 8 on target, 3 big chances. Look at the shot map. They're a little bit dotted around. Strange amount of long-range shots for Leeds, which is not something we associate them with. And yeah, just that 1 big chance for Sheffield United. So chance quality saying a lot in this one. But look at the XG, look, 2.65. That may be death by 1,000 cuts, but you can see big chances for the goals. And of course, an own goal won't register anything on there either, will it? So, you know, a comfortable win for Leeds. It's what we expected, isn't it? Leeds are in a good moment. Sheffield United are in a horrible moment. But I'm very interested in a possible Leeds trend up now with the availability now of Rodrigo and Llorente Koch on the bench. And it looks like he's landed on the team now that's going to end the season. So will they get a trend up and possibly move into that top half? They're level on points with Arsenal. Palace play today, but they're 5 points behind. And it's back-to-back wins for Leeds. 7 in 3 games, 7 points. And we've said this throughout the season. What Leeds have done really well this season is they have really punished those bottom teams. I don't know if I can remember off the top of my head, but they've definitely beaten Sheffield United twice. Have they beaten West Brom twice? I know they hammered them at the Hawthorns. I'm trying to think. I don't think they've played the return game, have they? I can't remember. Fulham, they've beaten twice. Newcastle, did they win? I think they won both games, didn't they? There was 5 in that one as well, wasn't there? Brighton has been draws, but particularly that bottom 4 just absolutely punished them. And you know full well, if you do that, if you're getting 4 and 6 points off all of those teams down the bottom there, you ain't getting relegated, are you? You know, regardless of what you do, you can pick up so many more points than those guys are. And Leeds have done that very well, and then had, you know, sporadic really good results against teams far higher in the table as well. So it's just interesting to see now with the fitness whether they do trend up. Sheffield United, well, we've been making projections all season now. So 15 points behind Newcastle in 17th position. And Sheffield United have 8 games to go. As it stands, bar the shouting and a crazy goal, they're essentially going to be relegated in 3 games' time with 5 to play. And I guess it's just a case of shut the doors and crack on for next season and try and get promoted back. Press home that year 1 parachute payment advantage, which seems like Norwich and Watford are doing very well this season. Get your thoughts in the comments on that one. It was Leeds 2, Sheffield United 1. And finally, let's do Chelsea West Brom, where I don't know if anyone in the known universe bet on this outcome. Chelsea 2, West Brom 5. Wow. Great win for Big Sam. I'm sure he likes winning tight games, doesn't he? I'm sure he'd take the 5 goals and spread them out over 3 or 4 games, wouldn't he? But hey, look, it's a big confidence boosting win, hopefully, for the Baggies. Yes, Thiago Silva was red carded in the first half for Chelsea. I think it's Thomas Tuchel's first defeat as Chelsea manager as well. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one in the comments. There are the teams. Mendy, Azpilicueta, Silva and Zuma for Chelsea across the back. Alonso and James, Jorginho, Kovacic, central, Pulisic, Ziyech off, Werner up the top. And for West Brom, Johnston in goal, fresh from being with the England squad. O'Shea, Bartley, Ajayi returns. Furlong and Townsend wide. Pereira, Maitland-Niles, Yokuslu and Phillips. Dianya up top. Big Sam tweaking that just a little bit. It's been a back 4 recently with Yokuslu sitting in front. But you can see Conor Gallagher down the bottom there is out. So sort of whatever you want to call it, 3 at the back, 5 at the back, 5-4-1. Again, use whatever terminology you're comfortable with. It's Big Sam. You know what they're going to do. They're going to sit. They're going to try and exploit quick transitions and set plays, etc., etc. And, you know, in the main, work off what Chelsea do. And by God, do they do it well in this game. Hasn't been great for West Brom this season, but I think we can celebrate this one with them, despite maybe their ultimate demise. But there's the opener. And Pulisic is following up. I think it's Alonso takes the free kick. It's a really good free kick, actually. Johnson can't get a hand on it. Hits the post and back to Pulisic, who puts it in. And then comes the key moment here. The red card. And, well, it's a second yellow, actually, for Silva. And it's so silly, isn't it? Because Yokuslu is going to hit the shot there from the edge of the box. And it's such a big slide in. And, I mean, this brings me back to the challenge on Watkins in the Fulham game by Lamina. Because this is the same challenge virtually where it's a slide through. Okay, it's a bit more clumsy. But the point I'm trying to make is way after the ball has gone, the follow through and takes the player down. Maybe it is a false equivalence, but you know what I'm saying. I just thought I'd raise it. And it's a second yellow for Silva. And then we have Chelsea going into first half stoppage time in the lead, with presumably Tuchel going to outline his strategy for playing with 10 in the second half and defending the lead. And then West Brom scored twice in stoppage time. Unbelievable. Huge boot forward by Sam Johnston. Talk about quick transitions and exploiting them. That's the ultimate, isn't it? Pereira running in behind. First time finishes. Just loft it over Mendy with the left foot there into the back of the net. 1-1. And then another one just before half time. Lovely goal. Absolutely lovely goal this. Worked across to Pereira. And you don't see it per se from this angle, but he really gives everybody the eyes. They're all going to block to Mendy's right-hand side, thinking that Pereira's going to try and curl for the far corner. He does not. He opens his body up to intimate he's going to do that, and then he sweeps it back into the other corner to Mendy's left. It's a great goal by Pereira. Excuse me. West Brom's best player, really, last season. Most creative. I think double-double with 10 goals and assists, and showing some of that form, albeit 10 against 11 in the Premier League here into the second half. And it's just some great goals by West Brom now. Furlong down the right, and such a composed cross there. On the run, a cut back to find Callum Robinson. Sorry, I forgot his name there for a sec. And that's a brilliant cushion volley on the run. Just slams it down the centre of the goal. But what a strike, and what a counter again. And yeah, Big Sam Bull, can we call it, in operation here. Another really good one. Counter attack down the left, pass, back heel, and then knocked back for Diania, who finishes a little bit scuffy, but it's a really, really good move. It's not recurring, excuse me, sneezing in the broadcast. And Diania sticks in the corner for 4-1. Bit of a hammering here going on. We do get back to 4-2. Werner could have the shot himself. He just taps it across to England's Mount, who's had a good week or two, hasn't he? Really seems to solidified his England spot now. And he scores in the Premier League here for Chelsea. But just when you think, oh no, the team down the bottom of the table is going to throw this away now, even against 10 men, they do get it back to a 3-goal lead, and Robinson played in and dinks it over Mendy. Nice little finish that. What a performance by West Brom. I know the words too little too late are going to come in, but there's been nothing like this for the Baggies for forever, so let's let them enjoy it. The shot map does still tell us that even with the 10 men, it's still a bit of a Big Sam special in terms of lulling them in. And the finishing for West Brom was tremendous though, wasn't it? You can think back, 3 of the goals, the Robinson one particularly and the Pereira one, really on point, the finishing for the goals for West Brom in this game. Chelsea did still have 4 big chances though and missed 2 of them, so it did still reek of Big Sam and you know, just getting the job done without necessarily the attacking momentum of the team that he's beaten. Look at the table. Look at Chelsea first. I think it is the first defeat. They're still up there in 4th, and given that Spurs couldn't beat Newcastle, they are still 2 points ahead of their London rivals. Now, for West Brom, Big Sam always talks about getting the point per game and the points parity. Look, obviously he's miles off it because it's 21 points from 30 games. However, you've now got 7 points in 5 games. So, you know, if you chuck another win in the next 2 games, you're looking at possible 10 points from 7 games. And, well, that's what it needs. They're still chasing, but the scenario is that if they win a game in a round where both Newcastle and Fulham above them don't, it all gets within 1 game. And I suppose that's all you can ask for really as a West Brom fan. Can you get within 1 game by the last game of the season? It's been such big gaps. I'm talking about 1 game within Fulham. Obviously there'd then be another game away from Newcastle. It's 8 points. Can they close it up? It does seem a little bit too little too late. But, hey, It's Big Sam. Stranger things have happened. Can everyone ahead of them trip themselves up? Feels unlikely, but hey, let's not rain on their parade after a brilliant win at Chelsea. Get your comments in on that one. Chelsea 2, West Brom 5. Maybe as good as it gets. That's our show. Thank you to Jay again. Jay Coyle, dearly departed, also known as Ben. Couldn't bear to lose us. He is our fan sponsor for this show. He got involved on Patreon. You can do the same. And as I said at the top of the video, great day for us yesterday on the channel. 15,000 subscribers now. So if you do watch these shows, please do hit that subscribe button and keep us growing. It draws other people to the channel as well. So really, thank you everybody for doing that. The Easter weekend has been crazy. It's 8:15 in the morning now. I'm just wrapping up a half an hour video, so you can imagine what time I started work on all of this. We're going to be back later in the day with another super stream doing the championship stuff as well. So plenty going on. We'll be back with the championship review tomorrow. More reasons to keep watching and keep getting involved with the Benjamin Bloom football channel. Get your comments in on any of those games, any of our dearly departed teams. And I will see you, if you're a dearly departed fan, for the next dearly departed preview. And if you're a championship fan, I'll hopefully see you during the super stream later on today. Thank you everybody for watching. Over and out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.